Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline like he does every Thursday, it's Jeremy Markovich. The newsletter is called NC Rabbit Hole, although I feel like it's... What do you think, Giulio? Should we rename this segment, Let's Let Jeremy Markovich Flex on the Haters? He's got two.
It's not even the most impressive thing he's done.
What is that?
It's not even close.
And that would be?
Being included in the best American sports writing is easy. Piece of cake, man. That takes it all.
This is a fact that's been out there for 8 years now.
Yeah, and I'd still be celebrating it. If I were you, I'd still be celebrating it.
Jeremy just casually pulled these Emmys down from a shelf. Buddy, I got those on my mantle. I have the one that we backdoored into. Gold and I have one. And I got that thing on my mantle. All right? And you're like, whatever.
It's where the kids can't get it.
Yeah, but it's not whatever, because he's so proud of these, like, skeet shooting medals or whatever he's got in the background. I don't know what they are.
10Ks.
He's so proud of the Ohio University in the real Athens back there. Your priorities are so skewed, man. I can't even handle it.
That's true. Well, you know what? Like, this was a nice gift last year, and like I usually just in a pile, and then they give me like I need people to help me with organization, and that's what's happening.
Right. Fair enough. Jeremy Markovich, NC Rabbit Hole is the newsletter. Go subscribe. It's a fun read. All right, so here's my curiosity. Speaking of having a lot of stuff and a lot of tchotchkes back there, North Carolina seems to have a lot of tchotchkes as well in terms of like official like the official whatever of North Carolina.
Yeah.
I was aware that North Carolina had an official Christmas tree. It would be the Fraser fir, which is cool. Whatever. But back in 2005, there was a state senator who said, no. I am going to vote no on the Fraser fir being the state Christmas tree. Why would you do that? Is he a Grinch? Is he like Giulio? Does he not like Christmas?
No, he loves Christmas.
Okay.
He loves. So this is where you don't make a campaign promise that you don't intend to keep, or at least that was the way that it used to be. There's a guy named Richard Stevens, who, if you have been around Raleigh long enough, you may remember his name. He's a state senator.
Mm-hmm.
And when he first ran for office, way back when, there was a news story about a debate over which berry should be the official state berry of North Carolina, whether it should be the blueberry or the strawberry.
Okay.
And the General Assembly, in its infinite wisdom, debated this and could not come to an agreement. So they came up with an official red berry, which is the strawberry, and an official blueberry, which is the blueberry. And if you're rolling your eyes, a lot of people were rolling their eyes back then. And there was a guy named Richard Stevens who was just running for his first term in the North Carolina Senate. Somebody asks him at a rally, "Hey, what do you think about all this red berry, blueberry stuff?" And he goes, "You know something? This is ridiculous. We have to spend our time on education and taxes and all this other stuff. And I promise you here tonight, if I am elected to the Senate, I will never vote for any state symbol. I will not vote for any single one."
Okay.
Then he got elected,
Yeah.
and then he had to keep the promise.
I see.
So he was the only person in the entire state Senate that voted no on making the Fraser fir the official state Christmas tree of North Carolina.
You know what? I came into this mad at this guy. Like, how could you not vote for the tree? But he's just keeping his campaign promises. Good for him. I appreciate that.
A man's got to live by a code, Joe. I've told you this before.
You're right.
Yeah, he stuck to his principles. There was one where he said that somebody really like twisted his arm. They say, "Hey, look, I'm from like the area like Seagrove, like pottery's big down there. You got to help me out. You got to vote for pottery." And he's like just tell me you won't vote against it. He's like, "Okay, I won't vote against it. I promise you I won't vote against it." And when the vote came up, he's like, "You know something? Now's a good time to go to the bathroom."
It's the oldest trick in the book, man. The abstained. Jeremy Markovich, NC Rabbit Hole, joining us here on the OG alongside Joe Giulio. I'm Joe Ovias. We'll close on this. There's a man in Gastonia who, if you're going to put ornaments on a Christmas tree, you probably have a collection of things that mean something to you, right? Like Giulio, you got a fake tree, but you got ornaments that you put up every year. These things matter to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, Jeremy, I'm sure you're in the same boat. I know I do. We try to add an ornament every year to kind of, commemorate, the year, blah, 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 blah. There's a man in Gastonia who has how many Christmas ornaments exactly? Do you know?
He's got a lot. He's responsible for millions of them.
Millions?
His name is Marshall Rausch. Millions of them. For a while there, a Gastonia, a factory in Gastonia was responsible for, it was like the largest maker of Christmas ornaments in the world.
Okay.
And it came from Gastonia, North Carolina. And the story is that the man who owned the factory was a guy named Marshall Rausch, who also, by the way, happened to end up as a state senator. And basically what happened was this is like 1965, like when you have like the old school, like the aluminum Christmas trees, like the Charlie Brown Christmas trees that were like silver.
Yeah, I love those, man.
And you turn on and you had like a color.
Mm-hmm. I got one at the house
wheel,
right now. Yep.
And you would put the wheel on the tree, which are 3 different colors. And so people figured out that if you could basically get like these satin ornaments, like basically a styrofoam ball wrapped in this satin thing, it would look amazing on these Christmas trees. And so this guy named Marshall Rausch owns this. He was, worked at this textile mill down in Gastonia. Somebody calls him one day. They're like, "Hey, look, if you can figure out a way to wrap a styrofoam ball and this this thread, you're going to make a lot of money. We're going to make a ton of Christmas ornaments." And so he's like, "Can you do that?" And in his brain, Marshall Rausch is like, "No," but on the phone, he said, "Yes." And he went back and he figured out a way to do it, and he made a bunch of money. And then he ended up making more. They got into the glass ornament business and made more ornaments than, for one time they made more than anybody else in the world. And the kicker to all this, and this is he's an extremely funny guy, is that Marshall Rausch is Jewish, and he has made every single joke that you could like don't even like in your brain, if you're like, what joke could I make about this? Like
he's like,
he has made it. It's like, he's made a lifetime out of doing this. His joke to me was like, this is a quote from what he told me. "All my friends tease me, 'How do you feel about making ornaments for the Christian religion?' Marshall Rausch says, 'I have no problem. One of our guys started Christianity.'" So he really got into the Christmas spirit. He had doormats at the Christmas tree factory out front that said Shalom. Like it was, he really went all in on it. And great guy, sense of humor, still alive at 99 years old.
Awesome.
Just a great guy.
Awesome.
We actually can't let Jeremy leave because he's our resident Wake fan. You okay with the Deke speeding Duke at home and not rushing the court?
Well, all the students are gone. So if I know like when the students are there, like you're supposed to do that, but is it weird if like, okay, if I'm there and then like all like my buddies are there and we're like, we all rush the court and it's all like the grown-ups rush the court. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
It's like Christmas. You're never too old for it, right?
Maybe you don't rush the court because you might blow out a knee, but you could walk out onto the court.
So you're saying this wasn't in the great grand spirit of Jeff Bezdelik. This was not showing respect to John Shire by showing no respect to John Shire. This had nothing to do with John Shire.
I'm just saying that if the adults are going to rush the court, like it's going to take a while for all of us to take the elevator down to get to court level.
That's fair.
Like,
that's a good point.
It's gonna like we'll do it, but it's going to take about an hour.
You do know that's the team you hate the most, though, right? Since your favorite team is Carolina and your second favorite team is Wake.
Yes,
Duke's the team you hate the most. So.
We do not enjoy Duke. Although Marshall Rausch played for Eddie Cameron, way back in the day, old school Duke guy. So
about that, all right.
Can't hate too much.
Jeremy Markovich.
Nobody in this house hears me.
Jeremy Markovich, NC Rabbit Hole. All right, man. Have a good Christmas. We'll talk to you later.
All right, you too.